For the first time in human history, scientists may have just found the strongest evidence of life on another planet. So what does this mean for our future and for humanity? Let's break it down. July 2024. Perseverance made a strange discovery on the surface of Mars. This small rover has been exploring Mars since 2021, trekking over many miles, taking thousands of pictures. Now, it's not alone. There are dozens of rovers and orbiters studying Mars, looking for signs of past or present life. But Perseverance is special. It's collecting physical samples of rocks and soil that could hold secrets invisible to orbiting spacecraft. These samples will be brought back to Earth for analysis in labs, giving us a chance to study actual pieces of another planet. It's an incredibly ambitious plan that involves launching robots from Earth to Mars and then firing others back again, aiming to bring home the first Martian samples in the early 2030s. Perseverance is focusing on an area called the Jezero crater. This was once a lake filled with water billions of years ago. Scientists think life might have flourished here. It makes sense because life as we know it needs water to survive. Now, the crater is dry and full of rocks. It looks like a pile of trash. But to scientists, each rock tells a story about the planet's ancient past. Most rocks are made of boring stuff like silicon, oxygen, and iron. But some have tiny bits of other elements mixed in, and that's where the clues lie. Like what scientists found in this rock nicknamed the chemist slur. Using a special device on board, Perseverance can zap rocks with a laser to vaporize them and analyze their composition. The vapor turns into plasma, a super hot cloud of gas, which reveals the elements inside. Scientists can tell how old the rock is based on its makeup. What's cool is that it seems to show that the rock was formed by water, mixing with rocks long after they cooled from magma. Like when water hits hot rocks, creating steam and dissolving minerals. Scientists think this happened because Mars had a magnetic field billions of years ago, similar to Earth's, which protected it from harmful solar winds. As a result, water flowed freely on the surface. Over time, the magnetic field disappeared, leaving Mars exposed and causing most of the water to evaporate into space. In this particular rock, scientists found things like magnesium, calcium, and titanium. It's not clear yet what it all means, but it's like finding clues at a crime scene. Now, here's the exciting part. Scientists have also discovered some rocks containing iron and phosphorus. That's weird because these elements rarely stick together like this on Mars. Usually, they're spread out in different rocks. But this one rock, scientists are thinking that it could be the strongest evidence we have that there might have been life on Mars. Here's why. On Earth, these elements often hang out together in rocks, near places where life exists. That's because living things like plants and animals use phosphorus and iron compounds, and then when they die, these elements end up in the rocks around them. So on Mars, scientists think maybe something similar happened. Maybe there were living things that used these elements, and then when they died, they left them behind in the rocks. In other words, it could be chemical fingerprints of life itself. To make things even crazier, the rock has tiny holes that look like fossils. Some scientists say they see shapes that resemble bacteria on Earth. The wild part is that the conditions on Mars are totally different from Earth. Yet life might have found a way to exist there. Just imagine, maybe there are whole ecosystems of microbes living under the surface, thriving in total darkness and eating sulfur instead of sunlight. That would be like discovering a secret world hidden right under our noses. But wait, before you start thinking about Martians, let's keep things real. Finding these minerals doesn't mean there were definitely living things on Mars. It could just be a natural coincidence. We need to get the samples back to Earth to do advanced tests and figure it out. And that's the big challenge. Now, before we go further, let me ask you something. What do you think is the craziest thing you've learned this year? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. As you probably already know, I'm a huge fan of documentaries, especially those on CuriosityStream. It's like my favorite streaming service for non-fiction content. Their library is filled with amazing shows and documentaries covering history, nature, science, and more. I recently watched The Last Days of the Dinosaurs, which was fascinating. It explained the asteroid impact theory and showed how scientists uncovered this amazing fossil record of a dino graveyard. And speaking of perseverance, there's a great documentary on CuriosityStream about the making of this Mars rover, showing how teams across the world worked tirelessly to build and launch it. Alright, let's talk more about bringing those Martian samples back to Earth. It's a wild idea, right? Launching rockets to other planets and landing them safely is already hard enough. But doing it twice, that's like next level. First, we'll send a fetch rover to Mars. It will find the tubes dropped by Perseverance and pick them up. Then a rocket already waiting on Mars will blast off and send the samples into deep space on a special capsule. Finally, another rocket on Earth will intercept the capsule and bring it home. This crazy plan will take years, lots of money, and a lot of teamwork, but the payoff could be huge. Imagine being the person who discovers actual Martian fossils. It would be like a scene from a sci-fi movie, except real life. Now, there's a catch. Getting those samples back isn't easy. It's dangerous and expensive. It'll cost nearly $12 billion. That's more than the price tag for a brand new aircraft carrier. And there are people who think this money could be better spent on things that will help us here on Earth, rather than chasing distant dreams of exploring Mars. Lights. Choosing between saving the rainforest or sending rovers to another planet. But here's the thing. Exploring space and advancing technology often leads to unexpected benefits here on Earth. For example, the quest to put humans on the moon back in the 1960s spurred innovations in medicine, materials and computing that changed our lives forever. By pushing the boundaries of what's possible, we often discover new technologies that have applications we never imagined. Okay, so as you probably know, the United States and China are busy racing to become the most powerful country in space. They want to establish bases on the moon, mine valuable resources like water and helium-3, and even set up shops on asteroids. They both know that whatever they find on Mars could help us understand where we came from and if we're alone in the universe. It's like having a cosmic treasure hunt. Both countries have sent rovers to Mars to find as many clues as possible. The US with its Perseverance and China with its thick. The only difference is that Zhurong hasn't made any remarkable discoveries yet. In fact, it's been stuck in one place for 2 years because of dust storms. Meanwhile, Perseverance is roaming around, collecting data, and driving longer distances than any rover before it. It's like one team is searching for clues, while the other is standing still. The US knows that China is watching closely to see what they find. And if China finds anything interesting, the US wants to be the first to know about it. That's why bringing the samples back to Earth is crucial. Whoever gets the samples first will have a massive advantage. They'll be able to examine them in the best labs and potentially make groundbreaking discoveries. It could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So the bottom line is this. Discovering potential evidence of life on Mars is a monumental event. Whether it's from microbes that lived eons ago, or signs that hint at creatures living beneath the surface right now, it raises profound questions about the origins of life in the universe, the potential for extraterrestrial life, and our place in the grand scheme of things. As we continue to explore the cosmos, we must embrace the unknown with curiosity and wonder, knowing that every discovery brings us one step closer to unraveling the mysteries of the universe and our place within it. And that's it for today. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Until next time, thanks for joining me on this journey through space and discovery. Keep looking up at the stars and keep asking questions. Who knows what wonders we might uncover next?